Two old people on a couch here. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for viewing the video. I am Debbie, and Mark is not here. He is doing a job this morning, so we have so much news to get to today and so much going on. Everything seems like it is going into hyperdrive. I'd like to welcome everybody here today. Lila, Jennifer, Trish, Neil, everybody that I see in the chat. So I'm happy that you're all here, and we're going to start with a favorite segment of mine and Mark's, and Karen wants it to come back. So we're going to be bringing it back to you. And so we need you to help us to have these every week. So let's just get out to it. If I find it on my magic little thing, I should have done this beforehand.
Furry friends, let's all get to those furry friends.
All right, so these are Furry Friends, and it is one of my favorite segments. So please send me some furry friends into twooldpeopleonacouch@gmail.com and tell us who you are. And if you have a channel, tell us that. Tell us your pet's name. Tell us any stories you want to tell us behind your pet's name. I just found some random pets that I still had on my computer and put them up there for today. These are two adorable little puppies, and I think they're Skips, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not for sure, but I think they are. And here's another adorable little pretty puppy that we have, and they have their little toy in their mouth. And then these two guys, they are just like rearing to go for a walk, I think. They want to go for a walk is what it looks like. So, again, let's start Two Old People on a Couch again. Furry friends, and let's send our furry friends to twooldpeopleonacouch@gmail.com along with your channel name and the pet's name and everything, and we will get it up here for our furry friends. I want to get back into that. So I really enjoyed that segment, and I want to get back to it. So, but now we're going to get out to the news and get to seeing what all is going on. There's a lot going on overseas. They're trying to distract us with everything that's going on in our neck of the woods here in the United States. And it's just, everything is just wild and going nuts. So here we go. That's not the one I want. Okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of letting us know how high food at home has gotten and versus food away from home. So if you eat out or if you stay at home. And as you can see, both charts are just like trending way up and just going higher and higher. So if anybody's been to the grocery store lately, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been out to eat, you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy out there with the inflation, and it's not going to get any better in the short run because we just keep printing more and more and more money. So next story that we have is his dictator has perfectly predicted. Okay. Descent is upon us. So this is like they're talking about a recession is coming, and the recession is going to be hitting us. And they have predicted all the recessions since 1930. And yes, they're now talking about a recession. We're going to get to a slide in a minute. It's going to tell us how the Fed is saying that they will probably cut rates by a 0.5 percentage point, and that's going to cause the inflation to go up because, as you remember, they were raising rates to get rid of inflation. So with them predicting that there's going to be a recession and saying there is, because as far as I'm concerned, I feel like we've already been in a recession for like a number of well, this year and the past year. So we've already been in a recession. So you can imagine how bad it might get. So everybody just be prepared for everything that's going to be going on. Okay, then we have the Biden-Harris map shows worst of housing affordability in America, and you can see how this chart just fell off the face of the earth. Like, you cannot afford a house anymore. There are so many houses in my neighborhood. You can let me know in the chat if it's the same in your neighborhood that are for sale right now, and they are not moving at all. They are not moving a bit. They're just sitting on the market. So yes, everybody, you can't afford groceries, you can't afford a house, you can't afford to live. So many people that I talk to out there are telling me how they're not working 2 jobs, they're working 3 jobs just to get by. So a number of people have told me that. So everywhere I go, when I'm in the grocery store or at my work, everybody there is working 2 or 3 jobs to get by. All right, fast food restaurants fight to keep customers as food and wages costs spike. So, as you can imagine, with all the high prices that like fast food restaurants are having a hard time, I have noticed that there's not as many people at the fast food restaurants. I don't go to the fast food restaurants very much. Lately, I have not been. So if I'm not going, then other normal people aren't going, right? Um, So okay, cool, little Frenchie. So it is. They are moving there, so that's good. Yeah, it is slower though. Yes. So as you can imagine, again, if I'm not going out to eat, other people aren't going out to eat. I think that people didn't get. They got used to not going out to eat during the pandemic, and then once the pandemic was over, we were just in a different habit of not going to fast food. And I know for me, I just never got back to going to fast food restaurants after the pandemic. All right, America now needs 2.5 million to be considered wealthy. Charles Schwab survey says. So now you need 2.5 million to be considered wealthy. And so again, that's just a sign of the times. It's just getting harder and harder to get ahead and to build wealth, and to inflation just keeps going up and up and up. All that. All right. A 1 million gold bar for the first time ever. So they have now printed a gold bar that is worth $1 million. Don't we all need that? We all need that gold bar. Yes, hit up your local farmer's market. Yes, absolutely, Lila. Go to your local farmer's market. You'll get healthier food. That's less processed. You know, even the vegetables are becoming engineered and everything. So yes, absolutely go to those farmer markets, those local markets, and everything. All right, up in Canada, we have that the National Railroad strike. They're arbitrating that so to keep it from happening. And a lot of our food that comes from Canada comes in from the railroad. So, as you can imagine, if they do go on strike, it's going to cause a lot of shortages here in the United States. So, all right. And again, yeah, we keep talking about it, but monkeypox is not the new CV, they say, and lockdowns are not likely. So that's good news. Good news. Good news. They're not going to be locking us down with the monkeypox. So, good. I'm going to skip over this one. I didn't really understand it. All right. Oil giant Halliburton reportedly hit by cyber attacks. So again, there's been these little cyber attacks, and ooh, the dock workers. Okay, Lou. The dock workers are thinking about striking also. So there you go. Again, shortages if that happens. So cyber attacks are still being carried out, and I don't know. People are talking. I hear a lot of talk about there being something on the horizon, like something huge, like a set of events that are going to really shock the whole world. So there you have it. So again, um, There you have 2024 in a nutshell. Just all kinds of stuff going on. All right, cyber attacks hit U.S. defense supplier of critical chips, impacting ability to refill orders. So again, another cyber attack going on. And so as these continue, then again, it's going to cause problems in keeping up with orders. It's going to cause problems with shortages and all kinds of stuff. I know. I can't wear that mask, and I know people don't like it whenever I say that, but it makes my anxiety go through the roof, Julie. So I cannot wear that at all. I think it is against the U.S. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So again, just a few cyber attacks have been going on here in the United States. And then again, we did have a bunch of protests going on in the UK, but the UK is cracking down on the protest and cracking down on free speech. And so they're not allowing people to do that, and they're starting to call it extremists if you go out there and protest over things that you think shouldn't be happening in your country, unless you're here in America, and then you can protest in the street, unless you're not on the right side of what they want protested. So Rand Paul asks why TSA is using terror watch lists to spy on Americans based on their political views. So again, they're starting to put a lot of people onto these watch lists, and then you can't fly on an airplane, and it gives them permission to spy on you and all that kind of good stuff. Well, bad stuff, actually. Bad stuff. Okay. This right here is very, very important. Okay. FBI chief warns of unprecedented risks in security threats. So this is what I was talking about. They're talking about a whole series of things that are going to happen to that is going to cause shock into our systems, into the United States. And I can't. Weary at that he hopes that the U.S. Tech industry, in particular, it's developing around cutting edge AI, can also play a role in keeping helping protect Americans from AI ability threats, enabled threats coming their way. I can't read this because it's like too small. It warns that the Chinese Communist regime and the state of Russia pose the most significant intelligence threats. So there you have that. Yeah. So that was not what I was wanting to point out, but there you go. Okay, Supreme Court allows Arizona to require proof of citizenship for state votes, but not for congressional or presidential votes. So I don't know why we don't have to show your ID when you vote. It should be common sense to me that you have to show your ID when you vote so that you know who is voting. Otherwise, anybody in the whole world can just vote. Just vote. So, let's see what we have up next. Okay, Harris. Unrealized gains tax would obliterate. I can't speak. I need Mark here so that he can tell me whenever I can't pronounce the words. The U.S. economy. So, another thing that they're going to do is they're going to raise taxes here soon. And we have numbers don't lie. Women thrive under Trump, suffered under Harris. So again, just the facts that happen as opposed to what they're trying to tell you or spin it or throw out there at you. And the money on the dresser. Harris campaign pays influential army of foreign enthusiasm. So anyway, Yeah. I that one I don't get either, so I should have taken that one out. So I'm not sure about that one. Okay, and then we have no, the Biden-Harris border crisis is not over. So there hasn't been very much talk about the whole border situation right now, but the border crisis is not over right now. So that's what they're saying and everything. Oh, okay. I'm trying to read what Lazy Days is saying. It's being used as a ID used to vote, making it easier for everyone. Oh, okay. So as long as so you're saying that like you can get a driver's license and not be a citizen of the United States. Yes, that's what he's saying, I think. And California wants to reward illegal aliens with zero down, no payment home loans. So, if you're an illegal alien, you can get a home easier in California than you can if you're not. Although, who could afford a home in California? I don't know because they are so expensive out there. It's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And the DHS can't account for thousands of unaccompanied migrant children IG fines. So a lot of unaccompanied children that are coming into this country, they can't find. So that is bad for child trafficking. It's bad for all those things. Let's skip that one. I don't know if I want this one. Ukraine should join NATO even if Russia occupies its land. Czech's president says. So, again, over there in Russia, the Russia-Ukraine situation is ramping up. There are drones flying over some of the nuclear power plants, and they are invading. Ukraine is invading into Russia, and Russia is talking about using tactical nukes as a way to push Ukraine out of its territory. And so all kinds of stuff are ramping up over there while we are preoccupied with the DNC and what's going on over here. I know that one of our battleships got over there, I believe. And so everything is in place for a conflict over there to escalate over there in that country. So Ukraine tried to attack, Kursk nuclear plant to stage provocation. I can't speak. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm ridiculous. Somebody should just, Anyway. But anyway, so again, they're escalating the situation over there in the Ukraine Russian situation that's going on. Okay. And Ukraine sends one of the largest ever drone attacks on Russia capital. So, yes, again, escalation going on over there. Okay, and B-2 stealth bombers hot pits at Indian Ocean Air Base positioned within striking range of Iran. So again, our warships are stationed over there, all in the Middle East and in that area, so that escalation is probably likely in all those conflicts that are going on over there. And don't forget, we're still waiting for the retaliation that Iran is going to use against Israel. So don't think that has been forgotten by Iran yet. So I think it's more like expect it when you least expect it kind of thing. Okay, this is the story I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. Prepare for an era of shock events is what they're warning us about. So So everybody don't be um thrown off when you see some of these events that might unfold in the next coming months, couple years. So they're saying that there is an era of shock events coming our way. And let's see what they are. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I can't read it because it's off the screen over there, but it's like AI it's not a pandemic, it's like oh gosh, cyber pandemic. That is intentional. So they're saying that there's going to be a grand scale cyber attack that happens that's going to take down services in a wide range of areas where you don't need them to be taken down. I can't see part of my screen because my chat's over it, and if I move my chat, it like goes all the way across the screen. It's ridiculous sometimes. It just drives me crazy. Okay, and then oh, so and another thing they're talking about is that like you're gonna see a whole island like disappear, like the plates are gonna shift and the whole island is going to disappear under the ocean. So that's another thing that they're talking about. And then the third thing that they're talking about is like they're also talking about like the global warming thing coming to the forefront as a way to get us into our homes and everything when all this other stuff happens. So just a lot of stuff, shock and awe. Yes, it does, zombie. It sounds like they're telling us what they're planning to do, but they are telling us what they're planning to do. So just don't be surprised when all these things happen. So, anyway. Okay, so next, moving on. Yeah, I wish I could see my whole screen. It's really, really, really bad. Okay, Biden approves secret nuclear strategy refocusing on Chinese threat. So, that is the news of the day. So, is that we are refocusing that there is a threat coming out of China, Russia, and North Korea on this in the forefront of like nuclear stuff that's going to be happening. So, I don't know. I've been expecting something to happen in this arena for a long time. So, it hasn't happened yet, but I keep thinking that it is going to happen. So, Ukraine launches one of the largest ever that we talked about this. So again, remember that Ukraine and Russia are like Ukraine is making strides into Russia. Now, what will Russia do to push back? That's what we got to be wondering about because there's already talk about that the civilians are going underground to make way for them to be able to use a tactical nuke in that area. So Netanyahu, accused of abandoning hostages, says ceasefire deal may not happen. Okay, so they've been having these ceasefire talks for the last like week and a half, and now they're saying that they may not happen because I don't think that they're any closer to getting that. I don't think they're any closer to getting the hostages back in the ceasefire deal. So I hear a lot of talk about ceasefire, but not a lot of talk about the hostages in these talks. So that's one thing that I just haven't been hearing. Yes, I believe that too, Zombie. I don't think it will be a wide scale event. I think it will be a local area. It will be something to shock and awe people is what I have believed. I think it will be close to the election. It will be a reason for them to postpone the election, is what I think. I don't think they'll use a pandemic. to change the election this time. I think it will be something else. So, again, this is about the whole ceasefire talks going on right now. And Iran could wait a long time. Yeah, Iran could wait a long time before it retaliates against Israel. So just keep that in mind that people thought it was going to happen like in days and days, going to happen in the next 48 hours, 24 hours, blah, 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 blah. But no, I don't think they've abandoned that. I kind of think they put it on hold for the ceasefire talks, for one thing. So, yes, I think they put it on hold for the talks that are going on right now, but I think that probably yeah, you might be right. It might be the night of the election or the night before the election. I really don't think they're going to let us go out and vote, but I could be wrong about that. I could totally be wrong. That's just a feeling I have in my mind, That's just a feeling that I have. So, who knows? Okay. So, then we get into the DNC, what happened in the DNC this week, what happened in the Trump campaign with RFK Jr.'s campaign. So, RFK Jr., he steps down and endorses Trump. So that's what happened. Also, I think he tried to talk to the Democrats, and the Democrats didn't want to talk to him. So he's like, he endorsed Trump, and the Harris campaign calls him a failed fringe candidate. So there you go. Okay. It's happening. Trump announces information of expert panel to join forces with RFK Jr. in tackling the alarming rise of chronic disease in children. So that's a good thing. So I think they're talking about that that RFK will have a spot like in his administration if Trump wins in November. So I think they're talking about that. So anyway, that would be a good thing. And let's see. I reached out. Okay, here you go. So they reached out to he reached out to Kamala to talk about the health crisis and important issues. Harris declined to meet or even speak with me. So they are not interested in what he has to say. Yeah, I like a lot of what he has to say. I think he has a lot of good things that he believes in, and I don't think he has ill will for the American people. I think he wants to help us in the in health and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he probably does. I don't Yeah, he does have a couple of videos out, Neil. He does have a couple. Okay. CNN and MSNBC mute RFK Jr.'s press conference when he speaks out on fake news media and the coup of the shadowy DNC operatives to replace Biden. So while he was I think it was Friday, he went out and he gave a press conference saying he was stepping down and supporting Trump. And so while he talked about the fake news media, they muted him on their channels. So they did not let him speak out freely at all. So that's what happens with that. And then here you go. Fed chair announces incoming rate cuts just in time to boost Kamala Harris. So again, they're talking about a rate cut of 50 a 0.5% rate cut that's possible before the end of the year, probably maybe in September. I'm not for sure, but again, that's not going to help inflation if they start cutting rates. That it will not help them at all. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like he's going to have a role of some sort. Something he's he's going to something that he's passionate about, going against big pharma or you know, helping the you know, something that he's passionate about. I feel like he will be able to work on if uh president if ex-president Trump, I'll put it that way. I already called him President Trump. If President Trump wins. Well, there you go. All right. All right. So, all during the DNC this whole last week, they kept talking about a mystery guest coming and to the DNC to speak, and people were tracking Taylor Swift's plane and saying it was landing in Chicago, and was she coming to the DNC? And I guess Beyonce. They talked about her maybe showing up, and even uh, George Bush showing up as a secret person that was going to show up. Well, none of these people showed up at the DNC. So that was just, I tried to watch part of the DNC. I really did. I just couldn't. It was hard to watch, and they kind of just did a lot. They kind of did a lot of bashing. So instead of, I feel like instead of saying what they were going to do, they were just into the bashing and everything. So, um, so Kamala Harris at DNC claims that Trump threw away people's votes, but that's exactly what Democrats did to install her as the nominee. So, again, all these people voted for Biden, and then they switched him out with Kamala, and so nobody's vote really counted in the end on the Democratic side. So it always seems like the Democrats say what they're going to do is what they're doing. They say the other side is doing. Yeah, Ken. I mean, when President Trump wins, I was calling him president too early. Yeah. Okay. Atlantic Ocean is cooling at record speed, and climate can't say that word are absolutely baffled. So apparently, the Atlantic Ocean is cooling a bit, which is good news because it's been extremely hot here, and I'm ready for some fall temperatures. Who in the chat is ready for some fall temperatures? Because let me tell you, I am ready for some fall temperatures. It has been extremely hot here. All right. And then we have the U.S. Supreme Court upholds Arizona law requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote. And I don't know because I thought it was just for state elections, but I'm not sure if it's for all elections. So, anyway, yes, me too. I am ready for some cooler temperatures for sure. And I hear a cool front is coming to our area like the end of next week, so I am excited about that. California Democrats advance bill to allow illegal aliens to buy a home. Okay, we've talked about this already. To buy a home with 0% interest. Now, here is my view on when the government does something for people in the United States. Is that if the U.S. government gives money to somebody in the United States, they need to give money to everybody in the United States. We're all American citizens. So when money is given out for anything, it should go equally to everyone. It shouldn't be to just certain groups within the United States. And that's just my point of view. I just have always felt like everybody gets all this stuff, and people that work the hardest and work for their money don't get a fair. They don't get the same benefits as people who don't work as hard. So that's just how I've always felt. If one person gets something, everybody should get something. So that's just me. Okay, and Harris anti-energy agenda, um, and the coming big crash. So, I also feel like whoever gets into office, I feel like the stock market is going to go boom, 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 higher, 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 higher. And I feel like a big crash is on the horizon after the election. I could be totally wrong about that, but I really feel like things are going to really get we're going to go through a harder season. Yeah, just don't give it out. Yeah, don't give it out at all. Use as little money as you have to do essential services, and we will take care of the rest. Oh, I do qualify. I'm an American citizen. Lazy days. So, yeah, I do feel like we're going to go through a hard season after this election is over. So we will see if that happens. I don't know if that will happen. It's just a feeling that I believe. Yes, I do believe that. Stop giving our money overseas. Stop giving money to everybody. I feel like charities will take care of people in need if the government would just take a step back, and and therefore we would have more of our own money to be able to help people. You know, on our own. We shouldn't be forced to help people. We should be given the opportunity to help people on our own. That's how I feel. So Oprah, she made a appearance at the DNC and said she'd been a victim of income inequality all of her life. So, yeah, multi-billionaire. And she's saying how she's been shafted in her life. So, that's the hypocrisy of the Democratic side of of how the Democrats think. So we have Pelosi praises Joe Biden and cheers democracy after she ran a secret coup to smoke him out of the campaign. So she spoke at the DNC. We have Bill Clinton who spoke, and he said that Biden voluntarily gave up power. I don't think that Biden voluntarily gave up power. Yes, lazy days, you do. You have to be an illegal alien. Yes, I don't qualify because I'm an American. Yes, I understand your point now. I understand. So, yeah, so we have everybody trying to say that Biden voluntarily gave up power. Now, Biden has Biden had to step back because Biden does not have the capacity to or the stamina to run the country for another 4 years. He's not really running the country right now. He has, in my opinion, he has them in, but in my opinion, the president is just a figurehead anyway, a lot of times, and they don't. It's the powers that be in the background that really push all the buttons of what goes on in the world anyway. It's everything needs to just be reset. And I hate to say that, but as far as government officials, we need some term limits. We need all those things to be put into perspective so that so that we can get back to being the country that we need to be. So here. Okay. So again, we have here that Biden's inner circle worked to conceal his decline. And yes, I do believe that. I don't believe that he should have been elected in the first place. He was in decline when he was elected in 2020. But they concealed that by having the pandemic going on and nobody could go outside their homes. And so a lot of times he wasn't out there in front of everybody. Yeah, zombie. Yeah, if you call stabbing him in the yeah. Yeah. Okay. speaker at the DNC says the quiet part out loud. We got 70 days to act right. After 70 days, we can go back to acting crazy. So there's their whole plan. Yeah. Their whole plan for the DNC is to act right now and get into power, and then they can go back to all their shenanigans. And then we have the big lie that they created all these jobs. Now we're going to have another slide in a minute, and it's going to say, but what happened was they shut everything down, so nobody was working. And of course, when they opened everything back up, there was a lot of jobs created because they had been forcing people to stay at home, and then all of a sudden people could go back to work, and they were able to get out there and go to their jobs, you know? So you created the jobs that were already created in the first place. So, yeah, well, yeah. Trish, that's a whole nother conversation. That is, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is 100% true. So, three, watch. Ukraine launches massive drone attack on Moscow thanks to U.S. and NATO deep pockets. So, again, they're using our money and NATO's money to be able to do this attack that they're doing on Russia. And so anyway, a lot going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. So keep your eye on that. Ooh. Something might happen there. Okay, so in a bizarre speech, I guess, that Obama made, he makes trashy jokes about Donald Trump's parts during his DNC speech. So yeah, I'm like, why can't they talk about the great things they're going to do for the country and everything else? I feel like, and I could be wrong because again, I didn't watch all of the Democratic convention, so I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Republican convention was more positive and more like what we're going to do, and the Democratic convention was all about tearing Trump down. So I could be wrong about that, but I'm not for sure. So, and I didn't watch Kamala's speech, which I was going to watch, but it's on late and I had to get up for work, so I did not watch her speech. If anybody watched her speech, tell me in the chat if she talked about Trump during her speech. If anybody watched or saw any clips of her speech, did she mention him? Because Trump did not mention Biden in his speech except for once. So, of course, he knew at that point that he wasn't going to be the candidate. So that might have been the reason why he didn't. But I thought Trump's speech at the beginning was very good, and then he got a little bit long-winded and everything. In comparison, I do know that Kamala's speech was much shorter. Hers was only like 30-something minutes, and Trump's was like 90 minutes. So you had those two. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lou. 147 times during the entire DNC convention. Yeah. So just tell us what you're going to do for us. Just tell us what you're going to do instead of bashing everybody else. Okay. We also have Michelle Obama who spoke, and she says her parents were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. So, in her speech, she said that her folks were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. And she says that the presidency might just be a black job in DNC speech. So now we've brought it back to race. We've cut it back to race, and instead of all being Americans, we've brought it back to the beginning of where we started, right? So, yeah. So craziness. Okay. So meanwhile, while the DNC was going on, there were some protests that went on outside, some pro-choice earlier in the week, and then some Palestinian protests. For the most part, the protests there were more peaceful than I think they thought they would be. There was a huge police presence there. So again, there was some marches and everything, but I almost think there were more police there than there were protesters. So that was a good thing. So I don't think anything huge happened. Just little things that happen. So, hey Mark, how are you doing? How's your job going? So, at the DNC, Bernie Sanders says rich donors shouldn't be allowed to buy primary elections. Yet, that's what the Democrats just did. So, again, the Democrats just withheld money until they got Biden out and put Kamala in. So, that's exactly what they just did. So, they just did that. Oh, did they loot? They took their bricks away. Okay, well, maybe that's part of it because I thought it was pretty peaceful. Overall, it was pretty peaceful. And so I'm glad that they put their foot down and didn't let their city get destroyed. I did see the police chief talk once, and I had great respect for him. He was a very good speaker and very in charge kind of guy. I had a lot of respect for him. He was very good. So, again, they did burn an American flag, which is expected in those situations. They did march and everything. The first night of the convention, there was 2 sets of fences, right? One closer to the convention center and one further away. They did that second fence. They did get it taken down and started to go into that area they weren't supposed to be in, but the police shut them down really quickly and dispersed them. So it didn't get out of control anyway. So, and then after that, they kept them out of the park where they had breached that fence. So they didn't allow them to go into that park. All right. Another thing that happened at the convention was, and I just don't even understand what people, I can't. I'm just too pro-life, I think, to even understand this. But they set up a Planned Parenthood trailer to offer medical abortions during the DNC. I just can't I cannot wrap my mind around that. That just, to me, I can't wrap my mind around that. Anyway, but that's what they did. So, Trump teases potential Roe for, okay, again, he teases a potential Mark, I need you here so you can pronounce my words for me. Roe for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in his administration. So, and again, this was before he dropped out. So if he drops out and endorses him, so we'll see if he keeps his word. So. Oh, it was. I didn't know that. It was for vasectomies too. I did not know that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So, I mean, that's at least you're preventing the problem from happening whenever you have a vasectomy. So, that's better than the other. So, anyway. So then we have Joe Biden reportedly orders U.S. forces to prepare for possible coordinated nuclear confrontations with Russia, China, and North Korea. We already talked about that, but yes. So we have everything in the Middle East ramping up, everything in Europe ramping up. We have our ships in position over there, and we are being distracted with all this political stuff going on over here. So, oh, okay, yeah, lazy days. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right about that. But yeah, it probably is a way of them saying that. Yeah. So yeah, it's just my view. I'm pro life, and yes, I know there are exceptions to that. I understand exceptions. Um, Exceptions are fine, but it it shouldn't be the it shouldn't be what people it shouldn't be the oh, I can't think. I need Mark here to help me. Um, it shouldn't be the rule. It shouldn't be the going standard, to go out there and see how many babies we cannot have. Now, there's ways of preventing that in the first place, and then you don't have to do the other. So anyway, all right. Biden and Harris were cooking the books the whole time. 1 million. Yeah. See, and again, we're back to the jobs thing. The number was fraudulent because we lost all those jobs. So, of course, they should be the exception. Thank you, Lazy Days. I need you, and not the rule. Yes, the exception and not the rule. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for, Lazy Days. Um, so, yes, during the pandemic, all those jobs vanished. Of course, they were going to all come back whenever we opened back up the economy and started letting people go back to work. So, no upside here. Obama economist crashes Kamala socialist price controls. So a lot of the stuff that she is wanting to do is more on the socialist kind of platform as far as the economy, like putting in price controls. If you put in price controls and then companies can't make money at the prices they have to be at, they're going to fold up and not be in business anymore. That's just how it's going to work. Yeah. Yes, it shouldn't be used as your birth control form. Period. Yes, zombie. Absolutely. It should not be. There are lots of options for that. Lots of options. Okay. Kamala Harris refuses to debate President Trump on Fox News. Trump opts for Town Hall with Sean Kennedy instead. So Kamala will not debate him on Fox News, but yet they keep saying that Trump won't debate her. So again, saying what the other side won't do, but it's what their side is doing. Yeah. Okay. I don't really like to bash people, but so I'll just put this out there. It was just a headline. I thought it was kind of clever, but anyway, I'll just let you read that one. So anyway, again, I don't like to bash people's what they chose to wear or whatever. That's on them. And again, here's the talk about the free abortion bus out back. They didn't talk about it. They forgot to mention that they had that there at the convention. So, DNC, Joe Biden asked about being pushed out of the 2024 race in a coup and being replaced with Kamala, and his response was incoherently mumbles an answer. So, nobody could understand. So, yeah, she does always have style, I think. She's a very pretty woman. Yes, Lou. Yeah. So, sorry, I threw that in there. I don't know why. I thought it was, I don't know. So, Putin opens door to global refugees seeking escape from Western liberal ideals, promises safe haven for those embracing traditional values. So, far be it from me to agree with Putin at all, but I don't know. I'll just leave that one there too. It is getting kind of liberal out here, so you have to admit that. Chaos erupts after far left protesters break down the DNC wall. So again, here you go. This was the first night. This was Monday night that they broke down the fencing that was there. So fences do work, guys. Fences do work. So who's running the country? Joe and Jill shuffle off to DNC. Then we'll head to California for vacation the rest of the week. Then off to the beach for another vacation. So a lot of stuff going on overseas, and he's on vacation. So there you go. So Joe Biden will deliver a farewell speech tonight after he was tossed from the ticket and will leave the convention. So he did not stay for Kamala Harris's acceptance speech. He didn't stay for Obama's speech or anything. He was just there for the one night. Oh. Okay, so Kamala shares her economic policies, fake promises, reckless expansion of the U.S. government, and other theft of a Trump ideal. So there you have it. I think we talked about that a little bit last week. We talked about it, that she is totally 100% sort of doing like a socialist economic policy where the government takes care of everybody. And so I guess that will be good. We can all just be taken care of. No, it won't be good at all. It will not be good. All right. And the Party of Joy marches in Chicago with giant. Yeah. How many kids will be? Yeah. So I can't say those words on YouTube. So, but anyway, again, the protests were kept under control, and I respected them for that. So they said that they were going to make it bigger than the protests that happened in 1968, but I don't think it was anywhere close to the 1968 protests. So that was their goal, but I don't think it happened. And then again, another view of the protests going on. And then getting down to the nitty gritty. Oh, thank you, Neil. I'm glad that you guys all joined me. It's been good. Okay, so a lot of people are in Britain are considering turning off their heat this winter because it's so expensive. So home prices, food prices. I think okay, this is the end of the other chart. It's just talking again about rent going up, home prices going up, everything's going up. Yes, and then I think we're back to the beginning. I think we're back to the beginning. I think we made it. I think we made it, guys. I did not get to phone calls, but usually nobody calls in anyway. So, but we did fill an hour, and I have enjoyed being with you guys for this hour, and it's been fun and good, and I'm sure it will not be the M word, so I'm sure they will take that away from me. Anyway, I am glad that everybody joined me, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and everybody keep your eyes open and be prepared for what might be coming. I love you too. Solar DIY hobby and reviews. So, everybody be ready for what might happen in the next few months, and just keep your eyes open and just be prepared. So everybody have a great weekend. Lazy Days goes live at 5 p.m. Be there or be square. So it's always a great live, and they'll probably give away something. Aw, thank you for being here, Zombie. I love you. Remember, send in your furry friends to twooldpeopleonacouch at gmail.com so we can get some furry friends going again. So anyway, so until next time, remember, do your own research and be prepared. say a few words. Did you miss me? I know you did. That was for you, Mr. Mark. So, anyway, have a good weekend, guys.